Number one thing in life in which it is that I have been prioritized so much is being able to feel feelings beyond feelings in which it is that I know. In fact, my ability to do this has helped me step out of illusions of fear that my subconscious mind had created in my head. And this is really amazing knowledge, because it's knowledge that's helped me escape fears that felt like they never end. We might have all sorts of different fears in our heads, and most of the time more than one, including myself. And I've had many fears, in my life, and I'm dealing with all of them. And it's very interesting when you're dealing with these energies of fear and these memories of fear and these reasonings you have within your own mind as to why it is you fear a certain particular outcome or a certain particular thing. But I've been just looking at it and feeling it as an energy. And there's something about that simplifies the whole process, where I don't have to go into such exhaustive thought. I don't know if exhaustive is a word, but if it isn't, it's a word now. But, I've been learning how to keep my energies from, like, whenever a fear-based energy pops up, like right now, I allow myself to feel it, to deal with it, and then to release it. And therefore I transmute the energy. And I believe that throughout our life, what we do have the ability to do is to energetically design our lives. But the way in which we do that is by clearing out the energetic clutter of any low vibrational thoughts or memories or loops that are playing with inside of you. Of course, we have to be introspective within reasoning with ourselves as to why it is we fear certain things, and why it is that we're not prepared to believe contrary to what it is we fear. So instead of imagining the worst case scenario, imagine the best case scenario as though it's real. You see, as humans, we are so quick and easy to imagine the worst case scenario. It's like our default setting in our mind. The first thing we do when something pops up, when there's a certain trigger, we imagine the worst case scenario. And what we have, and we've kind of robbed ourselves, because we haven't given ourselves to feel the amazing emotions that come with, instead of imagining the worst case scenario, instead imagining the best case scenario and believing it. It's so funny how we're so prone to believe the negative opposite. Throughout my whole life, I just always wanted to believe contrary to what it is I'd been told, because I didn't want to settle for these limiting beliefs that made me feel like I was ultimately hopeless and powerless. Which are not great, because it affects your whole energy, your whole field, your confidence, your internal sense of security, and so forth and so on, your happiness, your health. It affects everything, to be quite frankly honest with you. So, fortunately enough, there is an easy method to feel. Like, if a fear-based thought pops into your head, feel the fear, realize it's just an energy, release that energy, and you'll see that you have the ability to program your energy field by releasing certain fears, by identifying them as insignificant. Ultimately, when you see it as just an energy and not some intrinsic part of you that means it is your reality based on whatever fearful story that energy comes with or presents in your mind. As soon as you feel that trigger, your mind just goes in a certain tangent, imagining the worst case scenario ultimately. And as I've explained, what we need to learn how to do is to start imagining the fucking best case scenario as much as possible, because that dramatically affects our energy, our mood, our mind, our vibe, and all of that directly affects our life. Everything. Okay, every single second, every single relationship, every single potential argument. I'm talking about all relationships, friends, family, etc. It affects everything. Your own personal life, every detail. Comes down to how you feel energetically, emotionally inside. That determines the many ways in which you can react and present yourselves. and respond to certain situations, whether it's out of fear or faith, whether it's out of imagining the worst case scenario or the best case scenario. So we do need to learn how to imagine the best case scenario. If you like content like this, I've got a Patreon. You can search it up, the Casanova Show, Casanova Show. For as little as $1, it's just basically a private blog. I blog about a lot of stuff like this on there. Reality dynamics, you know, mastering your mind, most importantly, because your mind is and your soul, your spirit, which are all one and the same thing, is your greatest asset. So, you know, this is the number one thing I invest in, is my own mind, my soul, my spirit, my own consciousness. And how I do this is by realizing this interpersonal subconscious realm within inside of myself, and how it behaves and causes me energetically to respond in a certain manner, and how to transmute, change those energies, release them, let them go. So you're not programmed by the world, you know, instead you're programmed by yourself. You know, the world doesn't program you to be in a continual fear-based, anxious state based on the many beliefs and ideas out there. No, instead, you have the opportunity and potential to choose what it is that you want to believe, whether it is that you choose to believe in worst-case scenarios or best-case scenarios. And trust me when I say, continually learning how to truly be able to have faith and believe in continual best-case scenarios allows you to eliminate all of these fear-based thoughts and narratives that start playing in your mind on loop. And it's really as simple as that. So sending you guys lots of love, and see you soon.